and you see the results. It's like, okay, I this shirt, I was given to it 3 years ago, and I couldn't fit into it. Now I'm wearing a shirt. I'm fitting into all these clothes that I got a couple of years ago, and I love it. It's like, hey, I don't have to buy clothes. I just wear these clothes that are in my closet that I've never been able to wear before because I was too friggin' big.
Bubba, how did you find Carnivore?
Well, last year I turned 67 and I was in pretty bad shape. 376 pounds. Actually, I probably hit 400 a couple of times. I just stopped looking because it was too depressing. And yeah, I have a job. I work out of my house, so I never have to go anywhere. Never have to go to park a car and drive, drive somewhere. So I basically get up, roll out of bed, work. Or, my job is babysitting equipment. I started a small hosting company for websites and email, and so yeah, customers sign up online, and then I got to sit there and make sure nothing goes down. Otherwise, they're going to get mad. So my life was basically just sitting around watching, waiting for something to break. But at that point, how I got there was just a slow progression of carb addiction, and just sitting there in my butt, not moving, and every day toward the end there, I was getting, every day I was running out to get fast food. I mean, I was a fast food addict. Every day there was not one day that went by when I didn't go and get something. And it's not just something, not a burger, it's the family meal. It's the big one. And then, of course, I'll probably sit there and watch Netflix while I'm eating, and then just fall asleep because t- toward the end, when I just about gave up, and last year, I uh, I got lucky. I was watching some YouTube, and I saw Joe Rogan, and he had a podcast with Jordan Peterson, who I respect a lot, and they were saying crazy things like, "I lost 70 pounds." And just eating meat. And I said, "What the hell is this bullshit? Eating meat is impossible. You got to have grains. You got to have all these vegetables." Uh, but then, piqued my interest. I said, let me read some more about this stuff. I checked out Michaela, his daughter. She had 15, 20 things wrong with her. My issue was I was just fat. I was overweight. But when you're this big, you have mobility issues. You can't walk. And it just got to the point where I became so sedentary. The only reason I left the house was to go get fast food, or every once in a while go to the store, get some food, normal food. But you do all the little tricks like the fat guys do. We park next to the cart and get a cart and lean on it while you're going out there doing all your shopping. And I mean, it got so sad. I used to go visit my family in Chicago, and I'd have to take the wheelchair option because it was too much to walk through the airport. And then of course everyone's looking at you like, "What's wrong with you? You're so fat." It was pretty sad. I was in despair, and if I hadn't come across that podcast, and then after that, I started going down the rabbit hole, which everybody else does. I said, "Oh, this is nuts." But then Dr. Barry's video, I'm like, "Okay, a doctor's telling me it's healthy or not unhealthy to eat just meat. So what do I got to lose?" I mean, I've tried Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystems. They work for a little while, and then you just go back to your old way of eating. So, and I realized I was a carb addict. I, since about my late 30s and stuff, I would just, slowly increasing my, just fast food. And fast food, I was a fast food addict too. And that's where all the carbs are. That's where all the horrible things are that we now know are killing us. And, you know, I would get something to eat and then fall asleep 5 minutes later for 2 hours. I'd get up, do something, fall asleep for 2 hours. And then, of course, I couldn't sleep at night because I'm not tired. I couldn't get a good REM sleep. So my health was being affected. I have type 2 diabetes that slowly progressed, when I early 40s, and then till I have an A1C of like, 10 and a half or whatever. And now I'm on taking insulin, taking twice a day, 100 milligrams, which is a lot. And, the realization is I'm never going to get fixed to this. This is just managing it. But I would just keep eating more. And they say, eat less. Well, when you're an addict, you can't. You can't just tell a drug addict, hey, stop eating less. It was so bad. I was in despair. And of course, I live alone, so I didn't have any family to, I got into depression, all that good stuff. And then, when I finally saw that podcast, and then I came across Carrie over at Homestead How, and just all the doctors, Dr. Barry, Dr. Chafee. I mean, we were talking about, lots and lots of investigation because I'm like, how could I go wrong with this? This is gonna, if I don't do this now, I'm dead. I'm never gonna see 70 Be- because there was no hope. It's like, well, okay, I'm gonna start losing limbs here pretty soon. My feet were turning gray. Had horrible neuropathy, and yeah, it was scary. And also had like GERD. I had I forget what it's called. Anyway, I was on Nexium for prescription Nexium before it became over the counter, and then after that, over the counter, I was taking Nexium every day. And again, it was just from eating all that crap. And so anyway, so I started the diet, and about 2 weeks in, I woke up one day and I thought, "Damn, I feel good." I said, "I don't hurt." And what it was the brain fog was finally lifting off of my head. It was like, whoa, what is this? Am I high? I was pleasantly surprised. And then I started, just paying attention to that. And it's like, hey, I can make decisions. Before there was no off switch to my eating. Now I understand, hey, there isn't a way to just stop it and turn it around after seeing all these testimonials. Bill Knott up in Alaska. I mean, all these people, Limitless Lindy. I was like, holy crap. So, yep, I started losing 376 when I last weighed myself. I got down to about 330, stalled a little bit. And then again, stalling is me saying I'm going back to cheating, going in, getting fast food, and, eating 1 or 2 days and feeling horrible, and then going back to carnivore, and always going back to carnivore to feel good. And then it finally, realization hit me. I can't cheat anymore. Otherwise I'll never, get all these great results that these people are. I mean, I was depressed because I thought I would lose 130 pounds, like just like that, because everybody else does. But no, everybody's different. I have a lot of insulin resistance, which means I got a lot of fat around my inner organs and stuff. And even though I wasn't eating any carbs, my glucose was 250 every day when I got a CGM. So I was monitoring and I said, wait a minute, how come I'm not losing any? Well, why is my glucose so high when I'm not eating any carbs? Well, the insulin resistance is a horrible thing. And as long as I don't eat any carbs, it won't spike, but it'll stay level. And eventually, I've learned it will go down once I lose some of this weight. And so right now, I measured myself 2 days ago, 313. So and I credit that to number one. I decided to start a channel. Carrie kept saying, "Hey, start a channel, inspire other people, document your journey." And I said, "Yeah, he's right. I don't have anybody to remind me that, hey, you got to stay on this carnivore diet." So, as a way of keeping me in check, I started the channel, and I was at 320 when I started the channel. And yeah, it's already starting to reap benefits. And hopefully if I ever get some subscribers, they'll be able to say, hey, you're not staying with it, Bubba. But hey, my goal is to get down to 200 pounds, lose some of this. I've lost a lot. I used to have such a moon face, but, it's going to probably take another year to get down to that level. Can't do it fast. And also trying to move more. I'm so sedentary. My legs hurt me. I got nerve damage, I think, just from sitting on my butt so long. So, yeah, that's the goal. I mean, stay on carnivore, strict carnivore, which means no cheating, no breads, no
Mm.
nothing, and I do always keep an eye on the Carnivore channel or community to see other people and get inspired by their stories because some of these people are unbelievable. They got 30 different things wrong with them, and a carnivore fixes it. Me, I was just fat, and I've never had any kind of really just fat related. I mean, overweight related symptoms. But yeah, edema in my legs from just sitting there all the time. And so the channel is going to be very key. Coming on here and talking to you is key. I mean, I don't do this stuff. I mean, I was pretty much an introvert, but lately I feel so good. It's like, how can I not tell somebody about this? And I was
Mm.
talking to my younger sister. I was telling her, Harriet, I feel so great. I got a van. I'm going to go out there and start camping, and I'm going to do carnivore. I'm thinking of starting a channel. And she says, Bubba Gone Wild. And I thought, my God, that's a great name for a channel because I was stuck with the name. It's like, okay, because they call me Bubba. Bubba, I don't know where the hell it came from, but a long time ago, the family just started calling me Bubba. And it kind of stuck. And so, yeah, I thought that was a great name for a channel, and that's my channel name, Big Bubba Gone Wild. And it's just starting, so I'm going to number one, stay carnivore, true carnivore, no more cheating ever until I get down. Well, never. You can't really cheat. This is a lifestyle, not a diet. And as long as I stay on carnivore, I feel great. I mean, I feel like most people, they want to shout it from the rooftops. I feel so good. You can too. And I'm hoping to inspire some older folks because, hey, every time I go to Walmart, you see all these big bubbas around, and, they're like me and they're getting older and they're like, no hope. Yeah, there's hope. But you got to find carnivore. So I'm hoping that maybe I can go out there, say somebody else will come across the channel and say, wow, look at this guy. He was a big fat Bubba, and now he's a slender Bubba. Um, and so
So,
that's why.
I mean, you've
What's that?
done really well so far, down to 313 pounds, right?
Well, yeah, but but it's taken. Let's see, a year and a half, and but I was really disappointed. How were all these people starting in 6 months? They lost 150 pounds. How come I can't have that? And the realization is everybody's different. Your body. Hey, it didn't take a year or two to get this weight. It's going to take a couple of years to get it off. And, I'm hoping that it'll shrink and, you don't get any of that saggy skin syndrome and stuff like that. So I'm not in a hurry. It's like, I understand, but I feel good right now. And the more weight I lose, the less work it'll be to get my body in shape. I tried going to the health club, and after 10 minutes, I can't even walk on the treadmill anymore. So, yeah, more weight's got to come off. But the biggest thing that carnivore did for me was give me hope. I was hopeless, and I just cannot believe. I don't know what it is that it does to your brain, where when you're in a fog, you don't see any way of stopping this eating. You have no desire. It's like there's no off switch. It's like, God, please don't let me get anything, and then they go out and get something right away. And just drive by a fast food place. Here's Pizza Hut. Boom. I get take home a whole pizza, large pizza. Go buy a bronze.
Yeah,
Hey, let's get a gallon of ice cream.
you get into this kind of cycle of just you sabotaging yourself, right? And you think I
Yeah,
can't, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, but then there's something that just takes over you and makes you do it, right?
exactly. It's like you have no self control. And now that's not even a fear. I pass by food all the time. I mean, visiting a relative, and there's cookies and cakes everywhere around here. It's like, no, I'll just have my steak. And I'm trying to get them to, hey, have a piece of this. This is delicious strip steak here. But yeah, that's a tough sell. But they are, they see my results, and if they saw more, that they would actually start doing this, or at least contemplate it. And yeah, so that is my story. It's like so many other people, they're not really sick other than the fact that they can't stop eating, no off switch. Uh, and it, but once that fog lifts, it's like it gives you some mental clarity. It's like you make decisions better, and that's what. If people can get that, I mean, that's what makes people want to tell their story. I look at Kerry and all the stuff that he does, and I get inspired by how much confidence you get once you get out of the fog. And yeah, I don't want to, ever go on a plane and everybody stare at me and look at this guy trying to fit in that little airline seat. Yeah, I've got my van. I drove up to Chicago, spent the night places. I'm starting to do more fun stuff instead of Netflix. I think I've watched the whole repertoire of Netflix videos. I'm never going to watch Netflix again. Well, I can't say that. Only if it's ones I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But
It really is good when you get out of the fog, right? Um,
100%.
so tell me, what's your eating like on a day-to-day basis?
Right now, it's usually OMAD. If I'm really hungry, I got some eggs. But I usually stick with strip steaks or ribeyes, and I'll have an occasional set of ribs and stuff. But eating pork, I don't feel as good, but I feel really great when I have a ribeye 4 o'clock at night, and then I wake up in the morning. I'm not hungry. Gave myself time to digest the food and sleeps better. I think once I start exercising more, it'll be even better. But right now, I'm waking up at 3 in the morning because I'm not tired, but I did sleep. And get to bed at 10, and okay, I got energy. What do I do now? It's 3 But so yeah, I that is what I've been doing, and I'm going to continue doing it because number one, steak tastes great, and so Thanksgiving's coming up, so we got turkey to eat and sausage and all that, and I'll partake, but the cakes and cookies, no more. They have no appeal. Uh, and everybody says the same thing. Oh, I can't live without all this stuff. I love my pizza, my frozen pizza. This I said, you will see one day you won't even look at that as real food. And I was that way too. I could not stop eating, and it's hard to believe that that'll actually happen. But once that switch flips, your brain is correct. Then yeah, and you see the results. It's like, okay, I this shirt I was given to it 3 years ago, and I couldn't fit into it. Now I'm wearing a shirt. I'm fitting into all these clothes that I got a couple of years ago, and I love it. It's like, hey, I don't have to buy clothes. I just wear these clothes that are in my closet that I've never been able to wear before because I was too friggin' big, and that's encouraging. Uh, but I do still like watching videos. Your guests are very inspirational, and Carrie stuff. I mean, all of that stuff. I always like to listen for their podcasts. And yeah, the big message, guys, older guys, you don't want to sit at home all the rest of your life. You don't have much left. Come on, let's go out here and do something. And van
Right.
life was something I thought it looked exciting, but I didn't have a vehicle, so I made it happen and got one. And yeah, I plan on making trips and eating carnivore, showing me cooking steaks out in the open plain. But yeah, it's truly amazing. And I thought, hey, if you could ever monetize the channel, that'd be great. I don't even care about that. I just want to, have fun and show other people it's possible. Because when I was in the depths of my depression, it was so sad. I mean, sometimes you have these thoughts of, well, if I wasn't here, who would miss me? Nobody. I don't have any kids. I'm a single guy. Just somehow happened. It's always working, always busy. Never had time to have a family. So now it's like, okay, I've squandered it. What do I do now? It's like shit. Excuse me. So I don't want to sit at home anymore, watch TV. As I get older, I want to go out and do stuff. And so yeah, I've been looking at places to go camping and ultimately go out west and maybe do this full time. Who knows? It's like if I like it, right now I'm checking things out. But the big thing is, I enjoy it. I mean, before I would, sleeping in a van. Oh my God, that's horrible. But now, done it a number of times, it's like it's no big deal. I don't know. I had all these fears or all these concerns about going out there, and you always worry about stuff, but there's answers for everything. I mean, it's not easy, going out there camping, but it's kind of fun in a way. It's liberating knowing that, hey, I can just go into any situation and handle it. And again, carnivore is the catalyst that helped me do this, because otherwise I'd be still sitting there watching Netflix and eating fast food until I died. And
Yeah.
at the rate it was going, it was going to happen pretty darn soon. So yeah, I mean, trying to talk up the family and explain to them, hey, how great I feel. And but I think the best thing to do is just show them, and don't
Yeah.
try to convince them, because no one's going to want to give up all their goodies. And I was like that, and I understand. So, but anyway, that is the crux of it, and why what carnivore did
Mm.
for me. And the biggest thing is the brain fog, because everything else is all tied to that. If you can get it in your head to fix your problem, and you have a tool, it's called carnivore, and you can do it, then why not? And luckily, I love meat. I've always been, I love meat. Uh, but yeah, that's all I eat. That's how I found carnivore, or carnivore found me. And thank God, that's all I can say, is because there was no hope here, no future with that. I don't think I'd ever see 70, really. Just sit there and while away. But yeah, a lot of people in the same boat, especially, older guys. So, hey, hang in there, guys. You can do it. I did it, and feel great.
You're visiting your family now. Were they surprised to see you? Like the
Yeah, well,
difference?
yeah, I hadn't seen him for a while, because I kind of stopped flying, and now I drove up here. It's like, but yeah, they see the results, but still, I'm still fat. I mean, I'm heavy. 313 is still a big Bubba. Um, but when I get down to 200, 220, something like that. I figure it'll take another year at the rate I'm going. My goal is to get below 300 by January 1st. And if I keep staying on this schedule of strict carnivore, I'm going to make it. And then I hope to see the glucose go down. Because the CGM is very handy, but if you're this big, it you get disappointed because you're not seeing results very quickly. But it will happen. It's starting to happen. Uh, but yeah, yeah, and I gave up a hope on that, but now I got it all back, and I feel great. I just want to shout it from the rooftops, and people don't get that. They're
Yeah,
like,
until people have tried it, they can't understand.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I didn't understand either, but once Dr. Barry started reading all his stuff, I mean, what a big thanks to you to, like, they deserve, all those doctors, for giving out free advice. And Dr. Barry's great. All his videos he's got, Dr. Chafee, all of them, every one of them, I got to give them credit for just encouraging us to do it. I mean, the fact that they were in the same boat and they were able to get out of it, that is truly amazing.
So, Bubba, how can we find your YouTube channel?
The channel is called Big Bubba Gone Wild. Um, yeah, so it's asterisk or at sign, Big Bubba Gone Wild. And
Or
yeah, and after being sedentary and stuff, they thought I was going crazy here. It's like, what's wrong with you? You just sit there and watch TV all day. What are you doing all this going out and doing stuff? So yeah, in a way, I guess I am going wild. Midlife crisis. Uh, but hey, guys, do it. Just you're gonna feel so damn good, and I'm excited for you, because I remember that feeling, and that first time, I just felt totally great. Anyway, yeah, I really, that's about all I had to say. I just wanted to give some encouragement and hope to people, especially the big guys. It's like, okay, you're not really sick with other diseases. You're just big and you can't stop eating. They did this to us. They gave us carb addiction. All the doctors or the scientists from the cigarette companies, they went over to the food companies and they said, hey, make this food addictive. And you're basically a drug addict. We're all drug addicts and we can't stop. And they say, well, eat less or, do less drugs. Well, yeah, you can't if you're a drug addict. It just doesn't work that way. But there's a way. And yeah, that
Yeah.
brain fog, oh, it's such killer. And I can see most people in America under the grip or around the world. They don't even realize they just can't make good decisions because of the brain fog. If we could just get rid of that, and there's hope, the new administration is going to be starting to push things like Dr. Baker's been saying for a while, or it's Dr. Berry and all the rest of them, just hey, quit lying about the food. And breakfast is the most important meal, and you can have breakfast cereal for dinner. It's like, come on, give us a break. Not having all these different diseases and everything to tell you about all these ailments I've had, because you know I can't blame anybody for me being this big except for me putting the food in my mouth. And but again, it's like, what is making me? Why can't I just stop? I mean, I was eating when I wasn't hungry, just to eat, just because it tasted good. And why do they do that? Oh, but anyway, that is Bubba's story, and he's sticking to it.
No worries. Well, I'll link to your channel below.
Oh,
Thank
thanks.
you so much for coming on, Bubba, and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time,
Hey,
and I
thank
hope you'll
you.
come back in maybe 6 months or a year and give us an update.
I want to come back in a year. Remember this picture because hopefully it'll be a lot skinnier. Get rid of this turkey waddle, and hey, but it's going to happen because there's no other choice. I mean, I'm accountable now to subscribers in my family. I've talked about this, and if I were to ever go back and just become huge again, they would laugh at me, and they say you don't know what you're talking about. So hey, I want to inspire people. I don't want to scare people, especially my little nieces and nephews. So anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it, Dave.